You're listening to District 32 Radio, where we talk business all day, every day. Thanks for tuning in. There's lots of different types of coaches. We thought we'd find one that focuses pretty heavily on productivity because ultimately that's what we're looking for in business. So James Bryden joins us. How are you, James?
I'm very well, thank you.
Productivity coach. Explain.
Right. Well, productivity takes many forms, but the area that I focus on is quality, affordable, simple systems for small businesses.
So in terms of systems, you mean processes right through from acquisition of goods to sales process, to fulfillment process, that sort of thing?
Yeah, any process within the business at all that needs to be written up. I mean, if you have a business that's fully documented, that's fully written up, then if you need to go on holiday or you want to employ people, then it's all done, ready for training, ready for people to take over when you go on holiday or you get sick, and so on.
It's one of those things in business, though, isn't it? We know we should have systems and we know we should have processes, but most of us don't actually put them in place, or we take them for granted a bit, that someone looking at it would, well, surely you know that.
Well, most people do. I mean, there's not many business people that haven't heard of the E-Myth. You know, I'd mentioned that a few times to people. Yeah, you've heard the E-Myth, but have you actually written your own procedures up? Most haven't done it. I've worked with a lot of small business owners, and probably 90% of them haven't done it.
How does that connection come? So do they finally realise that they haven't done it, or do you convince them they haven't done it, or how's that work?
No, they already know they haven't done it. It's when I point out something very simple, it's a really good distinction, and that is that if you've written your processes up, you've documented your business fully, you have a business. If it's all in your head, you've got a job.
Yeah, good point.
And if you want to sell your business, it's much easier to sell when everything's done and written up and produced than trying to sell something where everything's in your head and, you know.
In terms of not just, well, I suppose it's another form of productivity, as you said at the start, there's various forms of what that can mean. But in terms of having those systems in place and everything documented and a step-by-step procedural system, it must be easier too that if you do bring a new staff member on board, to actually get them up to speed to some sort of optimum level much quicker if that's in place.
Okay, well, the recruitment process itself is a system, is a process. So, I mean, I teach people how to find quality people for a given position. But it's fairly obvious that if you get somebody good to get into a position, if you don't give them the tools to do the job well and get them up to speed quickly, then you've got problems.
Well, there is the saying about reinventing the wheel, isn't there?
Yeah.
That if someone has, it doesn't matter how talented they are, if they have to come in and actually do it from scratch and there's nothing in place, quite clearly it's going to take a lot longer than if there's a system already there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The process of actually, you know, that I take people through is such that when I'm asking people exactly what their business looks like in terms of framework, we've got to build that before we do anything else, and then start to look at the processes. When I actually nail them on it, it forces them to get really, really clear on how things are done. It gives them clarity. And when you've got that, that makes things so much easier.
Your background, to have gone down that path, it's sort of a fairly specialist area. What's your background that's caused you to go down the path of introducing productivity systems?
What makes me so passionate about it? Okay,
Yes.
I ran my own business for 25 years, and I made just about every mistake you can make. It sent me broke.
It's a good
bankrupt.
lesson, isn't it?
It's a huge lesson, and having worked with a lot of business owners since then, it's become really clear to me that it's a chronic need in the small business community, and not many people are addressing it.
It's interesting you say that that sort of experience is invaluable, isn't it? Because lots of, without being unfair about successful businesses, there are a lot that have probably become successful in spite of themselves. That, right time, right place, and good luck. But if you actually had to identify why they've been successful, you couldn't pinpoint it. Whereas someone that's had a fall, had a failure, without question, you have to sit back and analyse it to be able to get back on the horse.
Well, you do. I mean, the lessons in life. I mean, it's the bad things that happen to you that give you the best lessons.
Yeah, very much so.
You can read all the books you want, but there's no substitute for actually having the experience.
Yeah, it's a more expensive way of doing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes, I understand well. In terms of what sort of things, what sort of businesses, do you specialise in types of businesses, or is what you do pretty much universal?
It's pretty universal, but what I do like to focus on are small businesses, small to medium-sized businesses. Even if you're working on your own, you're just starting up, it's important to start off as though you've got employees. And once you've separated everything off, and your name is above everything, because that's how it is in small business,
Yes.
then you're really clear on which areas you can delegate off first. So building a business becomes very much a structured process.
There's also the situation, I suppose, in that sense that having to invent that stuff after you're already established, when you're already doing certain things a certain way, but having to reinvent them from scratch is much harder, isn't it?
Well, I think a lot of people they have processes that don't work all that well. And I'm not saying for one second that you write up stuff that's not working well.
Yes.
You need to improve your processes and get them to a point where, is this worth duplicating?
Well, it's a valid point. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got it documented, you can actually still go through that process and go, well, that should happen before that, or that's more efficient, or there's got to be a better way, or whatever it may be. Whereas,
And one way to find that out is simply through your measurements, through your KPIs. If you're keeping a good track of your numbers, which is part of the whole process as well, then you manage by your numbers.
in this tough climate, everyone's saying how tough the market is, and of course there's an awful lot of uncertainty around the place, heaps of uncertainty, which is causing everyone to contract a bit and just sit on their hands a bit and go, let's see what happens and where the world's going to. And we've got, all sorts of different types of elections happening all around the world in the coming months and past couple of months. In terms of being proactive, in terms of your own process and improving your business, would it be an ideal time to actually take stock of your business and go, well, actually things are a bit tough now. Now we need to actually get productivity or efficiencies out of our business. So our systems are probably more critical now than in good times.
Well, certainly. I mean, as I said to you before, in terms of building the value of your business, that's a given. You need to do it anyway. But in terms of the overall economy, you can sit on your backside and go broke and do nothing. So being proactive and getting out and taking steps that are actually going to make a tangible difference to your business. And I would suggest that maybe the sales process itself might be the first thing you look at. How can I improve that?
Yes.
What am I doing in these areas, and can I do something differently? Can I do something better? And then making sure that you track all of that and adjust as required.
If someone is listening to this right now and they're sitting there going, well, I've got some systems in place, but yeah, maybe not, I need to improve them, that sort of thing. Any key tips on how to establish that they actually need to seriously look at this?
Results. What results are you getting?
So in other words, if you think that you're not realising your potential, basically.
That's right. And when you start to look at very precisely what are you doing in all these various areas, how efficient you are in those particular areas, then it becomes really clear to you really quickly.
Yeah, very much so. Good advice. To contact you and have a chat about productivity and systems, what's the best way to contact you?
Okay, my number is 042121 0444, or you could go to my website and fill in the contact form there, which is productivitycoach.com.au, or James at productivitycoach.com.au.
Excellent. Good advice, and no doubt some people will be in contact and have a chat about productivity.
Happy to talk to them.
Thanks for your time. James Bryden from Productivity Coach. You can contact him if you want to get your processes sorted out and improve just how efficient your business can be. And as he mentioned, it's not only about short-term results, but also about the long-term value of your business. So worth having a chat to. James Bryden at productivitycoach.com.au, and we'll be back with more very shortly on District 32 Radio.